for those of you that have never met Gabby Gonzalez, Gabby is an incredible mentor for parents. She's reaching, tens of thousands of parents all over the globe.
A little bit more than that.
How many?
Well, I have a community of 3 million parents.
She's reaching
around
3
the
million parents all over the globe. She's built a couple of seven-figure companies along with her amazing husband, Luis. And she's amazing. Give her a kiss. We're so excited. She flew up from Mexico to be with us. This is Rika Zimmerman. Rika's basically on a mission to help as many people become as spiritually aligned and basically enlightened as possible on the planet. And she's reaching hundreds of thousands of people and just a rock star, multi-seven-figure business. And Megan Neely is an incredible trainer for women rocking business and an incredible entrepreneur in her own right. She's helped us scale from 7 figures to multi-7 figures in a huge way. And she has her own brand now that she's going to tell you about. Let's give them all kisses and love. Okay, so I want to have these beautiful women hear from you guys. So keep going, Gabby. How do you help people? What's your mission statement when someone says, what are you up to? How do you answer?
Okay. Parents come to me because they want to be more empowered. You know, they want to be their best version of themselves and stop the awful and crazy cycle of being yelling, reminding, the awful reactive pattern. And you know what happens with that pattern? At the end, they feel really guilty, but they start all over again. So that's why they came to us and please, could you help me? And what they found in our tribe is not only they stopped the yelling, reminding, and everything, that pattern, so they also found like they have to heal their inner child in order to connect to their child. So, to their children. And we help them do that,
So, for those of you that are parents in the room, how many of you felt like she could be talking to you at some point, like directly? Words that, raise your hand high, words that you've used, right there, can you hear, right? By describing the cycle, is she building credibility or not? In a huge way, right? Like she's getting intimate with parents and exactly what they go through, the intimacy. The what, please? Right. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're inviting you all to continue to keep fleshing out today. I love this. Okay, your turn.
Yay! Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Rika Zimmerman, and I am here to help people reach their goal of enlightenment in this lifetime, right? Not next lifetime, but this lifetime.
We just worked on that.
We did. We just worked on that.
That's so good.
She's good, you guys. She is brilliant beyond measure.
We are good.
Yes, we are. Beautiful.
Keep going.
Okay, so,
how do we know we belong in your room someday?
Well, I get to assist people in getting out of self-imposed beliefs.
Yes.
How many of you guys are tired of self-imposed beliefs? How many of you, they come up all the time? Okay, so there is actually a higher order of reality that's possible, and it's called source reality, right? Where you actually get to align with the power that we all know is so much greater than us. To embody that magic and that miracle that you are and allow that kind of magic and miracles to show up in your life. Yeah. Can I get a yes? Yeah. Can I get a yes? Yeah, baby.
Can you feel her clarity? Can you feel her presence and how she goes ahead and allows herself to just fill up the room? Even though she's a guest on the stage, she's filling up the room. She's doing what, please? When you get to be a guest on somebody else's stage, it's still your job to fill up the room. To do what, please? Yes, you. That's going to be your opportunity. What about you, Megan?
It has been such an honor to support you in growing this company, like you said, getting to be a leverage coach and trainer and a Lotus coach, where I get to work with all the amazing women in our year-long programs, really supporting them to grow their businesses in a way that brings their purpose out into the world and gives them a way to have the kind of income and impact that they really want to make. It feels so fulfilling. And how I ended up in the business coaching land here with Women Rocking Business is because I had my own business coaching business, Be Your Own Badass Boss. And along the way, I thought, I really still want to be business coaching, but I don't want to be the face of my business. I really want to support women in that mission, and there is something really scary and vulnerable inside of me that wants to come through. And I thought, oh shit.
Because we have a thing, right? Like when you're ready to switch your niche, it's a thing around here. Like, yes, sometimes we switch our niches, but as coaches, we're always going to sit you down and make sure that you're switching your niche because that's really what's in alignment for you next. Not just because you're inconvenienced by the marketing, not just because you're scared, right? So Megan hires us. We got to work together for at least a year and a half. She, by the time she does her second launch, boom, $250,000 launch. She's like crushing it. She's one of those clients that comes through our programs, and I'm like, who are you? Like, you're, like, boom, like, give her something to do. She goes and does it. So then we hire her, and she says to me, I think I'm going to be working with you someday in business, and I think I'm going to have a whole nother brand of my own. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes down to Costa Rica, and she comes back, and she's like, I got it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I went away having this successful multiple six-figure business, and then I got the download of what I'm really here to do, which was to start a business with my partner, Erica. And we started a business, Two Lesbians in Love. And we support lesbians, bisexual, and transgender women in relationship with women to have the skills they need to create lasting, passionate love. And we do that at beautiful destination retreats where we get to create this amazing, delightful, pleasurable little mini micro world of all lesbian women. Which was my dream, but I thought, can I really do that? I think I have to do this other thing that's really stable and secure and it's gonna work. And I did that, and that was awesome. And it's been even more amazing to start growing something that is really at the core of me, like why I'm here on this earth.
I'm watching her sign up clients within 30 days of launching her podcast, within 30 days of launching a new niche, because she committed to a niche before and she actually knows it works. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? So it doesn't matter what you start with. It matters that you get it in your bones. Here's the system. Here's the tools. It works. And then great. If we want to pivot, we get to pivot, right? Megan and I always talk about pivoting. So here's what I want each and every one of you to see in these women and in myself. It is not a straight line from where we wanted to be to here. Line, not straight. Right? So for each one of you, what has it been like? Have there been moments that you doubted that this was the thing you were supposed to do? And what did that look like? How did you recommit in the face of craziness? Who wants to start?
I'll start. So being committed to Source and that energy greater than me, Source has led me on a journey that is pretty much unspeakable, unthinkable, and probably one of the hardest things that any human has ever been through. Stage 4 cancer, 7 brain tumors, 1 the size of 2 golf balls. And they're wheeling me around all of a sudden in a wheelchair because they're afraid that literally I am going to die in any second. Hello, good morning. You have stage 4 cancer, right? And in addition, I had just booked 60 new coaches into a $15,000 coaching program.
Can you imagine? 60 new high-level clients and boom, a diagnosis like that.
What am I going to do? Right? And all of me wanted to run away. Okay? All of me wanted to be embarrassed and shameful. Like, here I am teaching spiritual alignment, and I have stage 4 cancer, and I'm about to die. Who the fuck am I? Right? Does my process even work? Do you want to get stage 4 cancer? Hello, right? So this is like deep, deep shame and embarrassment. And my little one was like, I just want to hide. Don't let anybody know. Just pretend like nothing ever happened, right? And I'm like, hey, sweetheart, because we all have to, heal our inner children. Would you guys agree? Right? If you don't let people love you, you are going to die. If you don't let people into this journey and be vulnerable and present and raw and expose the entire mess of everything, you're not going to make it. And in fact, there was nobody as bad as I was in this trial that did make it. Take a breath and breathe that in. Whew. And from that challenge came the support of the entire universe. I did not have one coach withdrawal in the program. Now, I stopped teaching for 6 months so I could love myself and heal myself, and we continued the following year. So what if in your life, whatever you're going through, there is a space of love that's trying to open up? That your clients are trying to love you? That the world is trying to love you, that love is trying to love you. And what if no matter how big the challenge was, you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and let yourself be loved? Yeah? Can we get a yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Good. Breathe that in. Can I do a statement just real quick?
Yep.
I now accept that I allow myself to be loved. I am here to be loved. I deserve to be loved. In every situation, no matter how hard, I allow myself to be loved.
Let's take one more breath into that. So I asked Rika to tell that story because I actually believe that this is the stuff that gets in our way. It gets in our way of opening up and reaching more people. It gets in our way of believing that we can have the 12 clients, the 15 clients, the 60 clients. It gets in our way of launching group programs. It gets in our way of getting bigger because we're afraid of something like that happening. And Rika's here to tell you it can happen, and you can end up on the other side more beautiful. I watched you go through that. You're more beautiful. You're more clear. You're more surrendered. And I watched Rika go through that at a time when I was seriously questioning, as you know, I was seriously questioning building this company. And it was in that friendship and in that witnessing that I realized we can all get through this together. This is not a me, this is a we. This is a what, please? We. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. What about you, Gabby?
Okay, for me, can you imagine for an instant that you came back home, or whatever you say it, because I speak Spanish, so it's really difficult for me. Okay, and then you got home, and then you find out that someone had broken, how do you say
Yeah,
it?
broken.
Into your house. You don't have doors. It's like, where are my doors? I don't have doors in my house. I was devastated. And then we came back, we came in the house, and I didn't have computers. I didn't have TVs. I didn't even have clothes. I was like, what?
They took everything.
Everything. And we were so scared. And
How many kids did you have at that point?
2.
2 small children.
2 small children. All my work was in those computers, because I always have worked from home. So like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Okay, don't worry, maybe we have a little bit money in our bank account. Guess what? Nothing, because we were kind of broken. What are we going to do? Have you ever been in a situation like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? Well, I don't know if you have been there, but it's awful. And with 2 children, small children, it was awful for us. And I remember my little kid was like, Mommy, you taught me how to meditate, remember? Yes. Can we meditate together? And I was like, oh, I want to cry. But okay. And I started meditating with him. And I remember him saying something like, oh, Mommy, everything is going to be fine. Just penalize, because we do this work, like penalize that a small blue computer come to our house. And I was like, yeah, blue of all things, right? and everything is going to work out just perfect. So I was with him, meditating and saying, yes, kid, everything is going to be fine. But deep down, I was like, what the hell? What is going to happen? And like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, I received a call, and someone said, well, it was a client of mine, like, hey, Gabby, how are you? And I was like, okay, I'm a little bit freaked out because of this. Don't worry. Come to my company and give a workshop, and I will pay you, and I will give you my computer. It's brand new. I don't use it. It's in the box. And guess what? It was blue. And for me, that was like the first message of everything, right? Afterwards, I was meditating again, like, what am I going to do? Because everything was deleted. I don't have a work anymore, you know? I don't know what I'm going to do. I worked with every kind of clients, you know? From entrepreneurs to little kids with ADD, you know? No niche whatsoever. So I was meditating, like, please, I don't know what to do next. I don't have anything right now, so guide me. I am surrendering here. And suddenly I heard this voice, Niños de ahora, which means today's kids.
Niños de ahora.
Niños de ahora. Yeah, I was like, what am I going to do with Niños de ahora, you know? Well, okay, I'm going to trust. And I opened my Facebook with Niños de ahora. Do you know Wix? Yeah. Well, I didn't. But, you know, I said, okay, I'm going to do my website. It was awful. And I started with one client.
Mm-hmm. That's how we start.
So
that's how we all started.
Easy at all. It was awful.
And you got your family through that. And I met Gabby's husband at one of my Jeff Walker meetings. It's like this platinum community of all $1 million business owners, and it's an invite-only community. And I sit down next to her husband, and I fall in love with him. I'm like, who are you? You're so brilliant and smart. And he goes, I'm really nothing. My wife built the company. And I was like, okay, first of all, you're humble. Second of all, you're completely in love with your wife. I'm like, I need to meet your wife. So we met the next meeting and fell in love immediately with each other. But can you see the resiliency in this one? So I want to speak into what this is, because we're always planting seeds. We're always doing what, please? Right? And Gabby planted a seed with her son before she knew her life was going to fall apart, and taught her son a practice that then came back around. And this is what we have to do as entrepreneurs. We have to put structures in place when we're clear-headed. When we're what, please? Because we're not always going to be clear-headed. Shit's going to go to town, right? It's going to fall apart. And we have to know that that's going to happen. And when we put the right structures in place ahead of time, knowing now I have an assistant. One of the best things I ever did for myself was to promise myself I was going to go out there, get 10 clients, and hire an assistant. Because as soon as I have one assistant, guess who I need to show up for? My assistant. I need to have enough clients so that she has some stuff to do. Right? So now it's not about me anymore. It's about making sure I'm paying her to do something, right? So it's like we have to get out of our own way. And one of the things I just love about you is, first of all, how much you respect and love your family. Now, how many clients do you tend to work with in a year at this point?
More than 20,000. Yeah.
More than 20,000. You got that? Do you think she knows what she's doing? She was sitting on the floor of her empty house, dreaming about blue computers, right? Right? I was $35,000 in debt when I started this thing. Some of you guys are way more in debt than that. I'm here to tell you, doesn't matter. What matters is what you can see as possible. Let's give her one more round of applause. Beautiful.
How many of you feel some fear about being visible? Just raise your hands. Mm-hmm. So how many of you feel like to show up and give a talk to even 10 people or to do a Facebook Live would have your heart quicken? I think that that's really rooted in being aligned with your passion, and it's pointing you in the direction of your niche. Because I definitely had some fear about getting up in front of a room of people. when I was talking about business. And nothing compared to the level of terror I felt to start a business that I would have to walk into any room and say, "Oh, what's your business? Lesbians in Love." Because this was something that I was taught from a very young age is like, yeah, okay, you're in partnership with a woman. Maybe that gets mentioned on the side, or some people are going to be okay with that. Some people are going to not be okay with that. Some people are even going to want to kill you for that. Let's be real. There are people in the world right now who are being killed and who are being imprisoned for their sexuality.
Yeah, there's many countries.
Being who they
many
are.
countries in Asia where it is illegal to
And
choose.
there are still places in the U.S. where my partner Erica and I wouldn't be able to get an apartment, or we could lose a job just for being out.
Yeah.
So I want to presence that level of fear was in my periphery when I was considering listening to this download. I'm like, okay, yeah, I hear that. And I also feel like even now I can feel the little shaky feeling in me. And how many of you feel like you have something inside of you that is what you really know you're here to do, but that thing feels really big and scary, and you're not quite sure if you're up to it? Let's just take a breath into that. Yeah. And that's what I love so much about getting to work with our clients, because I know exactly where you're standing, because I'm walking through this process myself, and I commit and I recommit every single day. I've got my own meetup talk scheduled on Thursday night when I get back from this event, and I've got my podcast episode releasing on Thursday morning. I'm doing my Facebook Live on Friday. These are things that I'm doing right alongside you. So I just want to presence that these fears can be a lot bigger than, that technology, or what if no one shows up to the talk? We can actually have these ancient fears of being killed. I know I've talked to a lot of the women we coach who do deep healing work and priestess initiation, and there's the witch wound. And I just want to presence that in the space, that these fears you have are real. And so one of the things we help you do is move through those fears and really have a structure and skill set to be able to keep going.
One of the things I want to acknowledge you for, Megan is someone like me. When we met, I was her coach, but we immediately hit it off, and we talked a lot about the work we had done on ourselves. And Megan is someone who deeply believes in self-growth work, but she also knows that there is no substitute for taking action. It is, for some of us, easier to want to go do more work on ourselves. Right? And we hear a lot of our women say, I really feel like I want to go do this other piece of work. I want to go get this one more modality. I think if I could just become a licensed practitioner. I'm actually in this EFT training, and once I have that, then my clients will come. Right? And Megan looked me in the face when, I always, interview clients when they're about ready to go to a next level, and she looked in my eyes and she said, I will take whatever actions you challenge me to take. And I believed it, and she did. And no matter how uncomfortable it was, she knew that there was no substitute for taking those actions. There's no amount of inner work that she could do that would create the same result of just going and doing the talk for one person or 5 people or 200 people. Neil Donald Walsh used to speak every single week at the community center, and sometimes nobody would show up. And he would do the talk to the stuffed animals, because he was speaking in the childcare room. Right? Hear what I'm saying. This is about a deep commitment. It's a what, please? And so when Megan came back from Costa Rica and said, I think I'm supposed to start a brand for lesbians, and I'm nervous to tell you that, I said, well, let's fucking do it, because I know you're going to make it amazing, and it'll be a 7-figure company before we know it. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for always being a stand for me. And I see you be a stand for all of our clients to really do what's in their heart. It's not about doing something that looks good on paper. It's about doing what you're meant to do.
Thank you. So here's what I want to know. I want to know what advice you would have given yourself when you were sitting on the floor, when you were laying in the hospital bed, because I saw your purpose pull you through cancer. A lot of people go, 6 months, I need 6 years to go heal. And you're like, stage 4, give me 6 months, I want to be back in the game. And I saw your Facebook posts. You were posting about your clients from the hospital bed. You were like, this is what I'm here to do with my life. And I watched it pull you forward. People go, oh, I need to go do this little bit of healing work first. Your purpose is the biggest medicine you could bring into your system. When you say yes to healing, it's not about how fast you go. It's not about pushing yourself every hour of every day. It's about alignment. It's about what, please? Right. Being in service to those who need your gift. And I've watched all 3 of you do that. So, okay, if you had given yourself advice when you were sitting on your floor, when you were struggling with your illness, Rika, when you were wondering what the hell you're doing, launching a whole nother brand, like what advice would you give to yourself? And then, of course, to the women in this room.
I would say, just commit to a niche. Like Sage was inviting you to do today at lunch, walking out into the harbor, breathing, being with yourself, really listening to what is that seed of wisdom that's deep in your heart that's pulling you forward. And it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know where the clients are going to come from or what the 10th and 15th step is. You just have to know what that first step is and really commit to that niche, because once you commit, it pulls you forward. When you're really clear and you have that micro niche, you will have clients coming to talk to you right away. And that's what Sage was speaking to, starting my podcast, which is called Lesbians in Love. Pretty clear. Again, it drew people in right away. I had people investing $10,000 in the first month because of just launching a podcast, clearly positioning myself as an expert. So it doesn't have to be complicated. What is it that you need to do? Pick a niche, right? Pick a niche.
And money's like glue. Wouldn't you agree? We give our money where we want to have results. Would you agree? Money's like glue. What's the phrase? And so imagine if you're going out there asking people to commit to themselves through your programs, and there's not so much commitment in you. What's that going to do? More or less clients, right? And so, right, when we invest in ourselves, when we invest in the structure that's going to hold us so that we don't spin out and wobble around, it's why I never go a day without a coach. I had about a 3.5-month window in the last 7 years when I didn't have a coach. It was a pretty ugly 3.5 months. Because I am all kinds of visionary and I have all kinds of amazing ideas that I think I can implement all at once if nobody's holding me accountable. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Right? So wherever you get that accountability, that structure, that mentorship to pull you forward and help you not wobble, right? Get it somewhere. And your commitment is going to be a magnet for all the people out there that want the transformation that you're offering. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And that structure holds you in place to your commitment. And then you get to relax and be the channel of all the things you want to say and do, right? You can be all of who you are in any niche you choose, I promise. The niche is just the sign on the door. It's the what, please? When people walk through, you get to be all of you. And I think these 3 would completely agree with me. Yeah. Who wants to share next? What's the biggest piece of advice?
Each of you have a divine purpose. Would you guys agree? Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you actually commit to that divine purpose, you're actually committing to yourself. Would you guys agree? Mm-hmm. Okay. So allowing yourself to make that commitment, just like we all have done, right? Is it scary?
Yes.
Okay, what if there's a different perspective to have about that? And that is that it's divine juice, like the entirety of divine juice that you are coming through your body.
Ooh, can we all do that? One. Okay, wait, hold on. We're gonna do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That felt so good.
Divinity is going to use us in every possible way. Is there a better bridge for lesbians in love? Is there another bridge? Well, maybe a smaller one. But divinity is going to use her. Oh my God, we got a bridge. We're bringing lesbian love. We're bringing love into alignment through. And divinity comes in and goes. And her little one goes, I'm scared shitless of something so big. Okay? So finding that niche and saying yes to that niche is also feeling into what is so vulnerable that it scares me, right? What is so me? Like the way that I see it, who I am, what I bring. That's so big every time I think about talking about it, like, holy shit! Okay. So in my experience, that's how you find your niche.
Yeah. I would say
Okay.
so.
If there's holy shit attached to it, you're on the right path. Okay, you're on the right path.
I
Okay.
could not agree more. Because when I actually sit my clients down and I'm like, what is keeping you from just choosing weight loss? They're like, it's too traditional. Everybody else is weight loss. I'm like, what do? They're like, I help people lose weight. I'm like, so you help people lose weight, but you're not going to go out there and say the most important thing that people want to freaking pay for. And then I say to them, what are you actually the most afraid of? And they get quiet and they're like, that this thing's going to blow up and get really, 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 really big. Raise your hand if you know what we're talking about, right? We will resist narrowing down because we know that if we do, some part of our subconscious knows, oh my God, I could blow up. I could end up on Oprah, and then what? Is Rika still going to be friends with me? Right?
Yes.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gabby.
Okay, for me, Gabby, calm down. You will have lots of computers, okay?
All different colors of the rainbow.
Yeah, and meaning just trust your inner instinct and God and keep moving. Do not paralyze because there's going to be many, many, many other scary moments and you will be just fine. That is an important for me, you know? Like, you are just going to be fine. When you said to me, Gabby, do you want to come with me to San Diego? The first thing that I thought it was, no, girl, I'm not going to speak in English in front of amazing women. No, of course not. And I'm in the middle of lunch. You know what, girl? Forget it. No, I'm going to make many mistakes. I'm going to be in front of many amazing women. No, I'm a perfectionist. It's scary. It's uncomfortable, you know? And I'm here. And I'm here. I agreed to do it because I said, if this inspires someone that it's feeling scary, uncomfortable, and it's a perfectionist like me, maybe it's worth it. So, girls, I'm here. I'm here.
What I love about what the two of you shared is, Rika, you remind us to move the energy. It's the stagnant energy that makes us freeze up, right? So keep moving. That's why we dance. It's why we keep you moving over the next few days. And Gabby, I just love that, like, you're working your own edge. Gabby's consistently on camera in front of millions of people, but it's still scary for her to get up on stage three-dimensionally and in the flesh with 200 of you.
Yes.
Raise your hand if you can relate to Gabby. I'd rather be behind the computer. Right? So see me, put me in front of an audience of literally 2,000. I've been in front of 4,000 live human beings on T. Harv Eker's stage years ago, right? I would much rather do that than 100 people on camera. Like, for me, video has been my biggest edge. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Megan, what did you say? It took you like 8 hours to make a 5-minute video when you first started?
Yes. So, when I was in Leverage, one of our year-long programs, there was this fun challenge where you could win a coaching session At that time, it was a coaching session with Sage, and I wanted that session. And I had never made a video.
Oh yeah, you had to make a video
before.
Yeah.
I had never made a video before, and I had to just speak my message. What was my message? What was I really here to do? And I worked on it for 8 hours to make a 2-minute video, shooting it and reshooting it and reshooting it until I really got it.
But who here can relate? But I like.
And I won.
Why I love the video was amazing, and she got the session. So why it's so important to me to do a panel this first morning is because I want you to see what it looks like on different people. Give these ladies a big, huge round of applause, yeah? Yeah.
And if you got value from this episode, the first step is to subscribe to my channel so I can support you every week to create more income and impact in your business the women's way. Just hit the subscribe button and don't forget to head over to the Women Rocking Business Sisterhood Facebook page to get more support, because remember, we as women can go so much further when we all go together.